I call this dish Thai Indian curry shrimp. Prep time is about 30 minutes. Cook time is about 45. I have all of our ingredients already pre-measured and preset, so let's get started. We're going to start off with making the rice since it takes the longest. I like to use broth instead of water because it just always gives the rice so much more flavor when you use broth instead of just water and salt. So let's go ahead and get this started and bring it to a boil. So the broth is boiling, and now we can go and add in the rice. I'm using a brown basmati rice that I found at the Fairway over on Route 46. It's like my new favorite grocery store. I never made basmati rice before. It's an Indian rice, so I trust that it's going to come out just fine. Just mixing that around, and I have to adjust my heat. Just cover and lower the heat down to low. This rice has to cook for 40 minutes. So I'm just going to go and set my timer to 40 minutes. And we're going to make the shrimp while the rice is cooking. So the shrimp only takes about 20 or 25 minutes. So I'll give the rice time to get started, and we'll come back and start on our shrimp. So it's been about 15 minutes, and we're going to start with the rest of our meal. Just get the pan going. I love to use my cast iron pan. All we need is some oil. A little more. And before the oil gets too hot, I just want to get the oil started, get it, a little warmed up and evenly distributed around the pan before I add in my next layer. I'm going to just throw in, actually I'm going to spoon in some garlic instead. I don't know why I'm not just throwing in the whole thing at the same time, but I'm going to spoon in some garlic. This is about 6 or 8 cloves of garlic that I've already minced and chopped up. So we'll spoon that in. The heat is just a little warm. You never want to put garlic in a pan that's too hot because it'll just burn the garlic too quickly, and you never want burnt garlic in your food. So has a nice little sizzle going. We love that sizzle, and it smells so good. So I'm going to add in my shrimp now. Always love the sound of the sizzle of something stir frying in a cast iron pan. So I've pre-seasoned the shrimp with salt, pepper, and some dried Thai basil. And I just want to get it started. I don't want to cook the shrimp all the way before I add in the curry because I want the shrimp to really cook in the curry, but we're going to add that in last. If you could only be here and smell this. So you see I'm just mixing around, stirring around because I want this to be evenly distributed. And now it's time to add in the onions and peppers. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just, one thing about food is it always needs to look as good as it tastes. So I pre-mix I think that's 1 whole green pepper, 1 whole red pepper, and 1 whole onion that I sliced up and added that to my stir fry. And I'm just going to get that going for a little while. I don't want it to cook too much before I add in my liquids. So now we're going to add our curries and coconut milk. I've already added in the first curry, and now I'm adding in the second curry just for a different kind of flavor. I just wish you guys could be here to smell this deliciousness. So I'm just, constantly always mixing everything in because the thing about adding in layers of stuff is that you always want every flavor mixed in with the last flavor layer you added. So I'm mixing in my shrimp and my peppers and onions with these curries, and so now I'm going to add in my coconut milk. just to add another little flavor layer to this curry. I'm going to just shake in some coconut milk. I'm not sure how much this is, probably about a half a cup. But this is just going to add another wonderful layer of flavor to this delicious curry. So like every other thing that we add in, I'm going to mix this up in there so that it's evenly mixed in and so that it can coagulate with all the other flavors going in there. This is really great. So I'm just going to cover and we're going to come back to it in about 5 minutes. So it's been about 5 minutes since we added in the coconut milk. Let's see. And you see how it just has that wonderful creamy look and texture to it. It smells good. I know it's going to taste fantastic. I just want to add one last kind of shot of flavor in it before we finish. So let's just cover this back and get our flavor shot going. So in a separate bowl, I'm going to add in some soy sauce. A little more. A little sesame oil. I'll come back to that. A little fish sauce. Fish sauce is a strong flavor, but add a little more of that. And now some ginger oil. Again, I got this at the Fairway, my new favorite store. I'm going to also add in some freshly chopped lemongrass. And I'm going to that's a Kaffir lime leaf. This is like quintessential Thai flavor. So it's already dried up, so I'm going to just crunch that up in there. Mix in that Kaffir lime leaf with the lemongrass and the soy sauce and the sesame oil and all that. Yes, let's mix this up. And I'm just going to stir that a bit. Get that all in there. And I'm going to just throw this right into the pot. So I'm going to throw that into my mixture that's been simmering for a while. Just a little flavor shot, that's it. And as everything else, I'm going to mix that in. Mix it in good. And let it cook down in there. Give the flavors a chance to marry. And we'll come back and check on it in a second. And now I'm just going to add in our final ingredient, our final layer of flavor, and that's some fresh basil. It's just going to take the curry and just give it a delicious herb flavor to it. I love basil in my food, especially in my Thai-inspired dishes. We have about 5 more minutes left until our meal is done. So you always want to add in your basil last. It's what maintains its fresh, delicious flavor. I'm going to just cover and then come back and our meal will be finished. Alright, so it's been 40 minutes since we started our rice. So let's give it a look. This is good. It's not sticking to the pot. That's good. It's fluffy. It's nice. And I'm just going to stir that around. It needs to steam a little more, so I'll turn the heat off and cover and let it finish steaming in the pot while I come back and check on our final meal. Our shrimp is all finished and it's delicious. Look at all that curry with the onions and the peppers and the basil and the garlic and the coconut and the curries. All those flavors just go so well together. This is such a good meal. And then to have that over a bed of rice. And again, don't forget that rice has flavor because we use vegetable broth in it instead of just plain water. So our meal is just bursting with flavor. And I'm so ready to eat. So enough of this mixing. Let's plate and go. So for the purposes of this video, I'll use this pretty bowl. You know, I likes to eat, so the kind of bowl that I'll use for my own plate, we're not going to show that. So Let's just go and spoon in some of this rice into our little serving bowl. A little bit more. And isn't that nice? And then we're going to now spoon in some of our curry. Let's get that going up. This looks so good, if I must say so myself. So let's get that in there, spoon that on top. Let's get a little bit more. And let's make sure we get a nice plump shrimp on top. Well, there you have it. My version of Thai Indian curry shrimp. This was so fun to make. I hope you enjoyed watching. Hope you learned something. Happy cooking, even happier eating. And thanks again. Thanks for letting me open up my kitchen to you. And until the next time.